Hi, my name is Jared, a forensic sales engineer for Belkasoft. If you were able to attend the Belka Day America 2021 conference, as well as the BelkaCTF at the conclusion on the 15th, the following video will show you how to solve all of the problems within Belkasoft X with the help of a few outside resources. Thank you for participating and happy hunting.
This is question 1 with a difficulty level of baby, and the title is owner. So what is the full name of the phone owner? Okay, so the first thing we have to do is create a case. We come over here to add data source, add data source again. This time we'll select mobile image, and from this you will add the Belka ML that you extracted. So we open this up and you'll see that we have existing files and nested data sources. We want to leave those checked just to pick up anything that is potentially nested within the image. Let's select all artifacts. Come over to hashes. Let's just do SHA-1, MD5. We also have this look for matches from a hashed database. So here we can classify pictures. We're going to do this a little bit later on, so we're going to skip this for now, but this is where you would go to do that. And we will leave search for encrypted files and volumes blank, select next, don't create a new profile, and complete. So now that we're in here, we just go to artifacts, overview, and from the overview tab we will go down to pictures. Now what we're going to want to do is analyze these pictures for text. So we'll right click, analyze pictures, detect text. So we wait for that to process, and now that that's done, it's analyzed text and found 10 pictures with text within them. So what we'll do is we'll click on this first X right here, switch over to item text, and then we have the patient's name, which is Derek Hoare. Okay, so the second question is a difficulty level of warm-up. Title is supervisor. What is the phone number he reported to about drug delivery? Okay, so this next one, we're going to go over here to artifacts, back to the overview tab, and we'll select contacts. So you can see there's a guy in here named Boss, and that's going to be our flag for this one. So it is the 123-951-04974. So question 3, difficulty level of tricky, title destinations. What were the suspect's delivery locations on the night of the arrest? So we're back in Belkasoft X, go to artifacts, chats, WhatsApp messages, and we're going to want to filter by participants. We can only see messages between Derek and his boss. So participants, and you'll remember the phone number of the boss, so we'll select this. While looking at these messages, we see some payments for Bitcoin. Here's some photos. It seems like he uploads photos to this link, particular albums. So let's check out some browser data. Let's go to Overview, Browsers, URLs. And from here, we're going to want to sort by time. Once we actually get this sorted to where we want it, we can see that there were some searches within here and some image uploads, and you can see them within here. There they are. And so those uploads match what we were kind of looking for. So let's jump back out, and this time we'll go down to pictures. So from pictures, we're gonna want to right click, add or remove filter, and let's just check for pictures that have GPS data. So with this GPS data, we see all this money photos. So it kind of looks like he's taken pictures of his money after he's actually delivered the drugs. We look down, but there's nothing for the 18th, which is when we believe he was arrested. So now let's go back to URLs, see if there was any sort of information that'll kind of tie it to it. So we do see some activity on the 18th and some image uploads. So it's probable that he was actually uploading the images directly to that link. And from here, we can see Camelback Golf Club. And then directly after that, we see an image upload to RVD0OF. And then we go down to the next place right before the next image upload, and that is 2013 West Harwell Road. And then the final one, let's see, let's scroll down here, and we have that grid coordinate right before the next image upload. So those three are your flags. So for question 4, it's a difficulty level of baby, titled Job Experience. How long has the suspect been acting as a drug dealer? Okay, so back in Belkasoft, what we'll do is we'll go to our timeline and we'll sort by the local time. And we'll just do this a couple times until we're ready to get there. So we look down and we see a lot of information in the timeline, but the first one that looks like it was by the user was a message sent on April 18th, 2021. So let's assume that that is the last time he had his phone when he was arrested. So we'll jump back out to artifacts, and we remember browsing through the chats, we saw something about an interview. So let's right click, add or remove filters, and we'll look for message, and we'll just look for interview. Okay, and once that's typed in, we'll select apply, and we do have our message. Just got back from an interview, look where my boss hangs out. And that was on June 20th, 2020. So we're looking at June 20th, 2020 to potentially April 18th, 2021. So now what we're going to do is browse to timeanddate.com and look at a duration calendar. We'll enter in our dates, and again, this was June 20th, 2020. And the end date, we had April 18th, 2021. Now we're going to want to include end date in the calculation, and here's our flag, 303 days. So for question 5, it's a difficulty level of tricky, title salary. From what Bitcoin wallet did he get paid from the last time for his job? So we're back in Belkasoft here, and what we're going to do is just right click while we're in the chats, and let's filter by participants. And we know this is the boss's number, and he's likely the one who is paying him. So let's just filter by him again. We'll select apply. And if you look up here, you do see that there was a Bitcoin transaction, and there is the hash ID, but we're not going to follow that because that is actually a rabbit hole. So the next thing that we're going to do is scroll down in the text and say, hey, here's a payment of 0.0913 Bitcoin. It should be in your wallet now. And that took place on April 15th, 2021 at 5:35:27 p.m. So from here, we're actually going to go to blockchair.com, and I've already got the values set at the top, but I'm going to show you where they are set. So once you get to Blockchair, you'll scroll down to the filters. You'll see by the striped lines we have 2 set and the values. And we do have a range of 912 to 913. And we also know what time this transaction took place. So we have that date from 1720 to roughly 1740 to catch it. You'll see that we do have one result for this transaction, so we will select it. And once we get in here, we can see the multiple transactions involving the address, and you will see that wallet number, and this is the kind of exact amount of Bitcoin we were expecting to see. And what wallet did it come from? It came from this one right here. So this is your flag. So question 6, difficulty level of hard, title supplier. What is the phone number of the drug supplier? Alright, so we're back in Belkasoft. We go into installed applications, and we do see that there is a Signal private messenger, but we haven't really seen any messages from Signal. So what we will do is dive into the file system and try to find a Signal folder. So we'll go to media, and within the media we'll select 0, and under 0 we do have Signal. Within the Signal file there's a backups folder, and it actually contains the Signal backup that we're looking for. Now if you're using the latest version of Belkasoft X 1.7.7033, you'll see that there's input required upon the analysis. So if we drop this down in the task menu, we zoom in here, and sure enough it found the Signal backup, and it's asking us to enter missing data. So that's going to be the password for the backup. Now if you'll remember, whenever we analyze the pictures for text, let's switch over to gallery mode. There was something in here for a Google Keep, and we'll blow this up, and it looks like a password for a backup. Now there was a screw up with the image, and it was given to everybody during the CTF, and so you should see what the password is kind of supposed to look like. So let's go back to installed applications, and it messaged Keep. We do see a Google Keep application, so now we're gonna have to dig down into the file system and see if there's any sort of database that we can use that may give us some helpful information. So now that we're back in file system, we drop down the data. We'll drop data again, and we'll scroll through all the application packages until we stumble upon com.google.android.keep. And here it is. Alright, so what is inside this that might help us out? Well, there is a folder called databases and a keep.db. So with Belkasoft X built-in SQLite viewer, we can open that up, and we'll just scroll down until we see text search list items content. So scrolling through this, we do actually see a password that resembles the password that we saw on the Belkasoft CTF webpage. So what we're going to do is copy this item text. You can throw it into a notepad or something, just in case it copies anything outside of the password. But we'll go back to the tasks, and we will enter the missing data, and it says, what is the Signal backup password? You enter it in, select the eye icon, and it looks like we are good, so we will select OK. So that's going to begin decrypting the backup, and we'll just do it again a second time here. Again, same password, select OK, and now we have a decrypted Signal backup, and we can check that by going into contacts, and we do see some Signal artifacts. And if we look down at these Signal artifacts, what we can see some new numbers, and this one right here, the 423-376-7293, is your flag. So question 7 is difficulty level of tricky, title refill. When was the last time the suspect met his supplier? So we hop back into Belkasoft X, and from the signal artifacts that we just extracted, what we want to do now is jump into chats to see if we can see any chat messages that might give us an idea. So we'll add or remove filters from here and only see signal messages because these are the new artifacts. And before we didn't see anything from said supplier. So let's go, and now we see some signal artifacts. Nothing really stands out, but we do have some latitude, longitude. So from this, we're just going to remember the latitude and longitude, and then we are going to dive into the calendar database, which can be found by selecting artifacts, structure, mobile applications, and selecting calendar. So nothing's really standing out here in the calendar, but what we'll do is jump into the SQLite database at the bottom. We'll select a little button on the right that will expand it to a full screen. And from here, basically, we're going to find that latitude and longitude, and here it is. Now the event next to it is actually titled pizza delivery. Now we know the guy is not a pizza delivery guy, so that's a little off. So what I'm doing now is just kind of cleaning up my columns to only show me relevant information. Okay, got that side done, and then I'll move over here and remove a few more. Now the next column we really want to focus on is actually this DT start. It's date start. So we'll right click, choose column type, and select Unix time. And what that's going to do is take it from the epoch time to a human readable time. And then we can actually select title, and that will filter it based on the actual titles. Now we see a list of things called pizza delivery with some coordinates on here. So that is very helpful. And will probably come in handy a little bit later. But we'll also notice that all of these pizza delivery times now correspond with what we're assuming is when he meets his supplier. So we'll highlight all of the date times, and this happens to be the last time that was referenced in the artifacts. And so this is your flag. Okay, so question 8, difficulty of warm-up. Its title is IMEI. What is the supplier's phone IMEI identifier? Okay, so back in Belkasoft X here, we know that our supplier is associated with this pizza delivery. So how can we use this? Well, we had a little bit of hint in our question that kind of gave us a tool that we could use with latitude and longitude and a date time. So let's grab these latitude, longitudes, and we'll copy item text. We'll throw it into a notepad where we can easily copy and paste each line separately into this tool. So there's the latitude, and here's our longitude. Now the date has to be in MST time, and we have UTC time. So if you didn't convert this, it probably gave you some different answers. So what I like to use is this UTC to MST time converter right here. So we put the UTC time in, and it was 9 p.m. and it automatically converts it to 2 p.m. So back at the tool, we'll change this to 2 p.m. Select submit. We found 527 IMEIs. So the easiest way to do this is scroll down, copy them all. We'll throw it into an Excel document. It automatically is in this odd format, so we'll format cells, go to custom, select 0 and OK, and now we see the IMEIs. Now, to get the next row, we're going to do the same thing with a different coordinate. So again, we copy and pasted it somewhere else, just so we can kind of clean it up a little bit, and we paste the latitude, and then we paste the longitude. And again, we have to convert the date and time. Luckily on this one, it is already, it's 9 p.m. still, if you'll see. And so we're still at the 2 p.m. for MST time. And we changed it to 12/17/2020. This time it found 675 IMEIs, so we will copy and paste this. Now we could do this for all of those grid coordinates, but we really don't have to. So let's paste all these IMEIs in Excel. We'll change the formatting again. And now what we want to do is highlight this entire worksheet. We will choose conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, duplicate values, and we want to see all that are unique. So anything that's unique will have red, and anything that's a duplicate will stand out in white, meaning that device was in both of these locations at that time, and that is your flag.